Tired of tossing and turning all night? We've all been there, staring at the ceiling, counting sheep and getting more and more frustrated as the minutes tick by. You've probably heard the usual advice a million times. Avoid caffeine, turn off your screens, keep your room dark. And while that's all great advice, what do you do when the classic tips just aren't cutting it anymore? Well, today, we're diving deep into the world of sleep and uncovering 10 surprising, maybe even a little weird, tips that you probably haven't tried before. These aren't your grandma's sleep remedies. These are scientifically backed, lesser-known strategies that could finally help you get that deep, restorative rest you've been dreaming of. So get comfortable. Maybe grab a cup of herbal tea, and let's explore the secrets to unlocking a perfect night's sleep. First up, let's talk about your feet. This might sound strange, but have you ever tried sleeping with your feet sticking out from under the covers? The ideal temperature for sleep is actually cooler than you might think, somewhere between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Our bodies naturally cool down as we prepare for sleep, and our hands and feet are like our own personal radiators. They have special blood vessels that help release body heat quickly. So by letting your feet breathe, you're helping your body's core temperature drop faster, which signals to your brain that it's time to sleep. If you're someone who often feels too hot at night, give this a try. It's a simple, free, and surprisingly effective trick to cool down and drift off. Next, let's move on to tip number 2, the 4-7-8 breathing technique. This isn't just about taking a few deep breaths. It's a specific rhythmic breathing pattern that acts like a natural tranquilizer for your nervous system. It was developed by Dr. Andrew Weil and is based on an ancient yogic practice. Here's how you do it. First, exhale completely through your mouth, making a whoosh sound. Then, close your mouth and inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 7. Finally, exhale completely through your mouth, making that whoosh sound again for a count of 8. That's one cycle. Repeat it 3 more times. This technique forces you to focus on your breath, quieting the racing thoughts in your mind. It also increases oxygen in your bloodstream, slows your heart rate, and helps release carbon dioxide, promoting a state of calm. It might feel a little awkward at first, but with a bit of practice, it can become a powerful tool to fall asleep in minutes. Tip number 3 is all about engaging your brain in a very specific and, frankly, boring way. It's called the cognitive shuffle. Instead of counting sheep, which can sometimes be too monotonous or even stressful, you do something slightly more complex but meaningless. Pick a random word, let's say bedtime. Then, for each letter, start mentally listing other words that begin with that letter. So for B, you'd think of words like banana, book, blue, bicycle, and so on. Then move to E and think of words like egg, elephant, easy. The key is to do this slowly and without any pressure. The goal isn't to be a human dictionary. It's to give your anxious, overthinking brain a simple, non-emotional task to focus on. This gentle mental distraction helps to short-circuit the worry loops that often keep us awake. It's a technique that mimics the random, nonsensical thoughts we have as we drift off to sleep, essentially tricking your brain into entering that pre-sleep state. Our 4th tip might surprise you. Eat a small, carb-heavy snack about an hour before bed. Now, I know we're often told not to eat before sleeping, but the key here is small and strategic. A light snack of carbohydrates, like a small bowl of oatmeal, a piece of toast, or even a few crackers, can be beneficial. Here's why. Carbohydrates help increase the availability of an amino acid called tryptophan in your brain. Tryptophan is a precursor to serotonin, a neurotransmitter that makes you feel calm and relaxed, which is then converted into melatonin, the primary sleep hormone. Pairing the carbs with a small amount of protein, like a splash of milk in your oatmeal or a thin slice of turkey on your cracker, can be even more effective. Just remember to keep it light. A huge meal can cause indigestion and have the opposite effect, so think of it as a small, purposeful bedtime snack, not a 4th meal. Moving on to tip number 5. Try progressive muscle relaxation. This is a body scan technique that involves tensing and then relaxing different muscle groups one at a time. It's incredibly effective at releasing physical tension you might not even realize you're holding on to. You can start from your toes and work your way up to your head, or vice versa. For example, curl your toes tightly for about 5 seconds, focusing on the tension. Then, release the tension completely and notice the feeling of relaxation that follows. Hold that relaxation for about 15 seconds before moving on to the next muscle group, like your calves. Tense them, hold, and then release. Continue this process up your entire body: thighs, abdomen, chest, arms, hands, shoulders, neck, and face. This practice not only relieves physical stress, but also brings your focus away from anxious thoughts and into your body, grounding you in the present moment and preparing you for deep rest. Tip number 6 is a fun one. Tell yourself a bedtime story. But I'm not talking about reading from a book. I mean creating a simple, boring story in your own mind. The plot should be completely mundane and low stakes. For example, imagine you're watching someone methodically build a piece of furniture, step by step. Or picture yourself slowly walking through a quiet, familiar art gallery, looking at each painting in detail. The key is to make the story uninteresting and unemotional. You're not trying to write a bestseller, you're trying to bore your brain into submission. This is another form of cognitive distraction, similar to the cognitive shuffle, that prevents your mind from latching onto stressful or exciting thoughts that keep you awake. It provides a neutral, pleasant mental landscape to wander through as you gently drift off. Now for tip number 7, which is about scents. Specifically, consider using aromatherapy with lavender. The calming effects of lavender are not just old wives' tales. There's real science behind it. Studies have shown that inhaling lavender essential oil can decrease heart rate and blood pressure, putting you in a more relaxed state. The active compounds in lavender, like linalool, interact with neurotransmitters in the brain to quiet the nervous system. You can use it in a few ways. Put a few drops on a tissue and place it on your pillow. Use an essential oil diffuser in your bedroom, or add a few drops to a warm bath before bed. Just be sure to use pure, high-quality essential oil. It's a simple, luxurious way to signal to your body and mind that the day is over and it's time to wind down. Our 8th unconventional tip is to take a warm bath or shower 1 to 2 hours before bed. This might seem counterintuitive since we just talked about needing to be cool to sleep. But here's the magic. When you soak in warm water, your body temperature initially rises. But when you get out, your body rapidly cools down as the water evaporates from your skin. This sudden drop in core body temperature mimics the natural temperature decline that happens before sleep, which powerfully signals to your brain that it's bedtime. So that warm bath isn't just relaxing your muscles, it's actively triggering a biological sleep signal. Timing is crucial here. Doing it right before you hop into bed might leave you feeling too warm, so aim for that 90-minute window for the best effect. Tip number 9 is to write down your worries. Many of us lie awake because our brains decide that 2 a.m. is the perfect time to solve all of life's problems and compile tomorrow's to-do list. To combat this, keep a notepad and pen by your bed. Before you even try to sleep, spend 5 to 10 minutes doing a brain dump. Write down everything that's on your mind, your tasks for the next day, your worries, your random ideas. Getting these thoughts out of your head and onto paper can be incredibly freeing. It's like telling your brain, okay, I've got this. These thoughts are captured and we can deal with them tomorrow. Now it's time to rest. Research has actually shown that people who spend just 5 minutes writing a to-do list before bed fall asleep significantly faster than those who do not. Finally, our 10th and perhaps most unusual tip: try to stay awake. That's right, I said, try to stay awake. This technique is called paradoxical intention, and it's a cognitive therapy strategy for dealing with sleep anxiety. For many people, the pressure to fall asleep creates so much performance anxiety that it becomes impossible. You worry about not sleeping, which keeps you from sleeping, which makes you worry more. It's a vicious cycle. By flipping the script and telling yourself to stay awake, you remove that pressure. Lie in bed, keep your eyes open, and think, I'm not going to sleep. I'm just going to lie here and rest. By letting go of the struggle to fall asleep, you often reduce your anxiety enough that sleep can happen naturally. You're essentially using reverse psychology on your own brain. It's a bit of a mind game, but for those who suffer from sleep-related anxiety, it can be a real game changer. So there you have it, 10 sleep tips you might not have considered. From cooling your feet and trying rhythmic breathing to telling yourself a boring story and even trying to stay awake. The path to good sleep isn't always straightforward, and what works for one person might not work for another. The best approach is to experiment and see what clicks for you. Maybe it's a combination of a few of these techniques. The most important thing is to be patient and kind to yourself. A bad night's sleep happens to everyone, but now you have a whole new arsenal of tools to try. Sweet dreams. Thanks for watching, and if you found these tips helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content to help you live your best life.